What up, what up? Welcome back. Making it look easy. It's your boy Champagnepoppa, and today we got Andre Ewell in the building, well known as Daii. If you follow him on IG, King of Combat Sports, man. How you feeling?
Man, feeling great. Feeling great. One, thank you for having me. So I'm already on that high tune on a nice Sunday.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Just to let you know, I found you through Mitt Queen back in the day.
Oh, shout out to Mitt Queen.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a record.
I used to work out at Bomber Squad.
Okay.
Yeah. So all the coaches up in there, I got mad love for them, the fighters and all that. So that was the first time I seen you, and then I realized you was from Texas. You ever?
Partially. I give up partially for Texas because everybody be like, "Oh, you live out there." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like back and forth. So every time my parents broke up or whatever the case they had, we'll take a bus or a Greyhound straight down to Texas, and then when they got back together, came back. So it was back and forth. So I was going back and forth.
What part of Texas?
Tyler, Texas. Don't tell me you know some family there. Got
I
fam?
went to TJ.
Okay. But yeah, had family out there and everything. And, my uncle used to live out there until he passed away. So RIP to my mom. But yeah, so that's where we were partially raised and whatnot. So there and here, back and forth. So
Okay.
California.
Yeah, because I see you in California a lot. Are you out there right now?
Oh, yeah. That's where I'm at. Reno Valley, as we speak, at Icon MMA, where we train and throw hands. Lots of it.
Right. What got you in the fight game in general? Like where did it?
uh, I would say the truth. It was with my pops. Growing up, he taught me I was light skinned, so I had to learn how to fight. It was one of those things. So everything, every time we were growing up, I always moved a lot, so it was always bullies finding me. At the time, didn't know what he was talking about, but as soon as you end up seeing like the whole racial wars and what's going on, with not being the same, or black, Mexican, however you ever look at it, you find yourself fighting a lot. And it was one of those you got to learn how to throw or get beat up. And my pops was not with the fact of me losing, so it was one of those things.
Yeah, man. Because just by doing some little research on you got UFC under your belt, boxing, bare knuckle. I think you've done everything except for like the slap challenge, bro.
I'm gonna stay away from that one too, though, unless they pay a lot.
Yeah.
If they go pay me a lot, I'll jump them in there. I'll deliver a slap and then, you know, fake an
Which
injury.
one did you start out at?
Say it again.
Which one did you start out at? Was it jujitsu? Was it boxing? Which one?
Funny moment, it was actually wrestling. And I only got down like the basics. So everything was like more based off of basics. It went from wrestling to taekwondo. And then when I landed in boxing, I kind of set with that one because it was more me. And at the same time, everything that we ended up doing, like I said, like majority of all the street fights and that I ended up having under my belt was standing. No one really was going to take down or wrestling and everything. But granted, wrestling was my favorite. But it was when WWF was happening. If anybody don't know, I know they call it WWE, and it's everything's like evolving in so many other
Rock
directions.
with
But
eyebrow, Triple H.
boom,
Yeah.
it's game. It's and the funny thing about it is my favorite wrestler after Bret Hart, and then he went to WCW, and then he ended up like retiring type of deal. It became Kane, then to The Rock. It was just like that. I don't know why I was a Kane fan, but I always liked that whole that machine that you can't destroy or beat, and he constantly keeps getting up. It's one of those things. But then I went to my nature. My nature was, hey, The Rock. That was our black character right there. You feel me? So
Hey, the Rock was definitely a staple in my career, but I was always torn between him and Stone Cold because I'm from Texas.
hey,
You know,
hey. And the funny thing is, to this day, Stone Cold gets nothing but mad respect from me in my eyes and my family.
hmm
So yeah, he gets nothing but love. So Stone Cold, shout out to Austin.
Triple H used to piss me off because sometimes he'll win some of them matches, bro, and I ain't like that. But Triple H was in the mix too, yo. Triple H was
Hey,
definitely.
I'm with you with that. I am with you with that. I didn't like Triple H. And
Me
granted that
neither.
I know he was all like, you hear the stories from Steve, Steve Austin and everything about him and Triple H, how fans were coming in and Triple H like jumped up in there, and then basically kind of like saved the situation. So he gets points from him, but this is the now that I'm catching on what was happening back then.
Yeah.
Back then, I was like, nah, I don't like Triple H. He came in with that sledgehammer. I was
Mhm.
like, nah. And he did that to Bret Hart, and I was like, because I was a Hart fan. Like, I'm gonna be real with that. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Hey, he always had points for me. So
Did you only fight or did you do other sports?
definitely did other sports. Fighting was more of a like funny moment of fighting. I already knew I was good at it. I was great with it and everything, but that became more of a turning event of 2016. But before that, it was all sports. It was football, track, and then when I got into the basketball, then I was really good at that. I was just one of those people that was able to adapt. Like no matter how you look at it, I just became really good. Like at football, at the high schools, uh, I was at like this ninth going on 10th grade. I was already on the varsity for the football team. Uh, then for fighting, I got kicked out of school. But when I got back in, it was one of those. I just jumped on teams just to show that I was able to get on the team just to leave. When I transferred from Ramona High School to Arlington, I jumped on the basketball team just to see if I was able to make it, just to prove everybody that hey, I was good. And I did. I walked in there, did that, made the team, and then walked out. I was like done on that, but track was more on me anyway. So I was really fast. So
So
my thing was, you said,
you do everything.
oh yeah, definitely. Like right now, freaking my favorite sport as we speak is freaking snowboarding. Just we don't got no snow right now, but I like snowboarding. That's my greatest hobby at this moment. And then, but during the seasons, I played tennis with my cousin. Like my whole thing was to go pro with tennis real quick, just to do it.
Bro, I admire niggas like you, bro, that just do everything and can. You remind me of one of my homies, Vernon. I had him on the show because we travel. We cover traveling on this podcast as well. But I just those brothers that they just like doing sports. Period. No matter what it is, like, and they find themselves pretty much good at everything. Shit, bro. Being a former collegiate athlete myself, bro, I can relate to the journey, but what's that for you? What's the difference between sports and then combat sports? Because it's a difference.
There is a difference. There is a difference, but at the same time, if you're able to end up finding the connections to it, it all becomes the same thing. It's like one of those, like the super tree, right? There's this one tree that's just honestly branches is like all roots and all everything you could possibly think of together. And which is shout out to Brother Forms because that's like one of the sponsors that they end up speaking on it. Like there's one tree where no matter what, everything is like connected. You just got to end up finding the connections, like awkward branches into the roots that end up expanding and whatnot. So it's like for instance, like for argument's sake, we got football and basketball. Certain things we already know it's different. One's football, one's basketball, right? So how you end up looking at it, different rules, but the rule setting of how to end up moving, how to go forward, how to end up pivoting, how to end up cutting routes and whatnot. You end up finding the similar things to end up uniting them, and then it becomes more fluent of how to end up learning it, right? And that's the same thing how I take that with the whole striking and combats and everything. Just granted that it's more violent because you're actually using brute force with your hands and your feet and stuff like that. Whatever it is, it becomes a thing. But at the end of the day, it's art. Just like football and basketball, it's art. Like just practicing like Stephon Curry, how he's able to sit there and shoot the ball at a long range and continue to hit a swish multiple times, or a quarterback able to sit there and throw a football at a time of a receiver going into a certain angle. That is art. People don't end up understanding of how long it took them to practice that or to master that or perfect that. And that's where it comes down into like the sports of combat. everything that we end up doing. Like, yeah, we can go out there. It could be partial luck. It can be partial, nothing but hard work at the end of the day. But you end up putting it together where these people are practicing the certain moves so many times, and then when they end up failing or they end up winning, something doesn't click to them, so they go back to what? To the shop to end up continue to work with it. So we could say it's separate, but at the same time we could say it's the same, but the separation, it's that you have to end up bringing it together in the center point to be perfect at all times. But again, same if you bring it to the football or to the basketball. Like I'm a Cowboys fan, right? And like the things that CD Lamb did, like the concentration to be able to catch it with one hand, that's a lot, especially with all these other grown men trying to take him out, And he's big, he's tall, but he ain't as big as all the majority of the linebackers, like a Ray Lewis or a version of Ray Lewis coming at you and stuff like that. It's weird, weird, but that's coming at you with freaking violence of, I just want to break you, and then you got to be able to knock that out. And that's the same thing up in the cage or the boxing. You got somebody that wants to put perfection on breaking your face. It becomes those things, So,
but what's that difference between? Because I know what it's like playing in a football game where you got thousands of people, what I'm saying, like watching and in the stands and shit like that. But that's a lot different when it's just you and another motherfucker and y'all throwing hands, though, bro. Like, what is it like? Because I'm like, ugh.
and then it's just like that, right? Like how you just literally perfectly said it, it's by yourself. You're
Yeah.
alone. It's that ride that you kind of have to roll with. Meaning, like, everything that these coaches and people, like, put in, like, they put on your table to honestly digest, right? And now you have to end up putting it all together. I probably was just talking about this yesterday with one of the people I was, like, training and everything, I was like, no matter how you look at it, people are throwing a lot of stuff on your table. Like, it's up to you to eat what you want, At the same time, it might be like chicken, potatoes, gravy, whatever the case is. You end up, you're taking that. Now it's like, what are you shitting, right? And the part where you're shitting is basically you inside that center and of the octagon of what you got to place to make it perfect. It's like, do you have the perfect shit today, or do you just have some runny shit? Like, it's like one of those type of deals. So it's like you have to like place it with people watching in the center of you doing what you have to do or doing what you do best. As a, I'm perfect today. And then at the same time, the separation, it's like you can be physically prepared, right? We'll just say, because like a lot of people think it's like, whatever the percentage of people's mindset of how they got to be. But truth be told, for me, it's like 90%. It's basically 90% mental in my eyes, and 10% fucking physical. And that physical part, it's basically that 10% is you putting your body in perfect shape and all that other stuff to end up preparing yourself to take damage or whatever the case is. But the other 90% is like freaking mental, so it's like, is you mentally ready, mentally prepared, or you can end up having like something certainly off, but you have to be at 90%. And at the end of the day, if you're not at 90%, you're kind of fucked, and people end up not getting that the octagon or a ring ends up basically exporting that thing. It ends up dissecting what's going on. Most people be like, oh, hey, he's supposed to be best, just like this. Freaking last night got Israel, supposed to be one of the best fighters in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up losing to a person that's basically able to beat people like Israel. He's not special at boxing. He's not special at wrestling or whatever the case. He's just good at beating the best. Like everybody that he's fighting, he just beat the best. And it's like, what is he great at? And I literally just sit there and saw like a little percentage thing, or not percentage, but a breakdown as in what is the champion good at 185? What is he good at? No one ends up giving him anything. They don't say better striking. Israel had better striking. They don't say wrestling. Israel was able to defend certain things, And they'll top that off. Israel fought better wrestlers, And then it kind of came down to grappling. Israel fought better grapplers, just no one able to exploit the whole thing because no one was able to get him down. Now we have someone that got him down. Now kind of down to like everybody's trying to break down Israel. Is he really the best? How is he the best if he can't do this or do that? But it's just that old boy he's just really great at exposing certain things like that. So not knowing it's a mental thing. everything could easily be a mental thing. If you have more courage of honestly want to step forward or go forward, you look at something different. But my mind's in different places, just like my boy Bobby. That's who I train with, right? Bobby Green. Uh, he has a strong mind at the same time, but he does have his days that is not on type of deal. Just like me, I don't have my days that are on. But we have our little moments. It's kind of like what he bringing to the table that day. It could be an off day. It could be that one little fucking kick that just became a distraction. But we don't get that, we don't get that whole repeat or reschedule or, that little rerun. Like in football, you're able to do all that. Like, all right, you dropped the pass right now, but guess what? You have another play to go. You get to redeem yourself right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
But the fighting game, we don't get to redeem ourselves until we fight them again the next time. Like, all right, hey, you won this one. I see you in like 6 more months. Don't fight nobody but me. And now you gotta hope they say yes. So
Do you does it get to the point to where when you in a fight, at what round, at what point do you zone out, and it's just like you just forget about the crowd?
For me, normally back pass was always the first round. Always first round for me because I always treat every round like it's my last, if that makes sense. So I go out there. First round is my last round. My mindset is to honestly finish the fight. It's not one of those. All right, I'll see you in the next round or see you in the third round. No, I'm giving you what I have in that first round. Like whatever the technique, my technique is to end up taking your head off. It's a double-edged sword. So and you give me two, I'm not doing the whole shields like like Spartacus back in the heydays. He didn't have a shield; he just had two swords. Go to work, you know. And I'm like my mindset is like samurai type anyways. So I'm going for kills every time. So that's the mindset that I have, and then so I'm already zoned out. So now it comes down. If you survive that first round, then it starts kicking in. Okay, let's work on strategy. But in reality, that strategy is still it's like kind of like the A plan is kill you. Then if A don't work, go to B. What's B? B is A, kill you. If B don't work, what's C? C go to B, and B is the A. At the end of the day, it's always A. Finish you off every round that I get.
Bro, man, I ain't gonna lie. I love boxing so much. Now don't get me wrong, like I like UFC and MMA and all that stuff, but I've just never been the type to be into like the kicking and the elbows and stuff like that. You gotta be a real warrior gladiator to go through that shit. How does it feel when you get that knockdown or that knockout? Because I see that you got some. How does that feel when you get it?
Oh no, it feels great. It feels great. I promise you, I was just talking to one of my teammates, my boy Willie Gates. So I was talking to him like last week. He said he was going to do like a little, like a video, funny clip about it, like when you win and when you lose. Like, what's the difference? So it's like knocking somebody out. It's one of those. I did my job. Hey, I did what I came here to do. I'm the best. I'm better than you. The whole nine. Everything is like sit there, placed on the table. And then you got to be humble about it. But at the same time, me knocking the person out or knocking them down, that's that humbling state already. Like I don't have to say the words. It's just automatically shown. Like, this is the feeling that we have. And it could even go this to that moment of like we did. We'll jump into boxing mindset. Like we do 6 rounds, right? And out of the 6 rounds, it was a tough war, tough fight. It's back to back. I'm taking a good shot. They taking good shots. And then it gets to that 5th round, I knock the person out, right? All those rounds of me getting beat up or getting touched and me going back and forth with the dude, I don't feel none of that. You don't feel that after the round, your hands is raised, you jumping up there, you doing the backflip, the whole thing, you ready to go party tonight, right? But now, argument's sake, if it was the opposite end, right? It's like it's that tough little fight, and then dang, you didn't win. You get knocked down, you get knocked out, whatever the case is. You're not as happy. You're not as you're not energetic. Now you're feeling every round of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All the exchanges that it was happening. Nothing different. Only thing different was you knocked him out, and now it's switched over that you got knocked out. Now that whole theme of I don't want to come outside tomorrow. How am I going to end up talking to people when I get home? Little stuff like that. Like, oh, I let everybody down. It breaks your heart, the whole nine, right? But now it's like everything hurts. You're thinking about all your injuries. You're thinking about how you're going to heal and how you're going to get back in. But the same thing, you just sit there and swish it with the knockout. Boom, everything is up in the high. You don't feel pain. You actually want to go jump back in the gym the next day, prepare to work with your clients and all that other stuff. So just the knockdown alone or knockout, that ends up put you in that high horse, ready to start again the next day, rejuvenated, like you're ready to go.
What I like about you, bro, 'cause I didn't see a few of the fights that you had, and I seen some clips, and it looked like you having a lot of fun out there, bro. So like everything you saying, like you know, I definitely understand your point of view just being an athlete alone, but it seems like you be having a lot of fun out there, bro. Just the movement, just the what I'm saying, like the silliness, the goofiness, but you really getting that dudes though.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
really getting that dudes. I think that kind of I think when it comes to fighting, bro, it honestly speaks to someone's personality and their character, the style.
No, 100, 100. Freaking, I always end up telling people it's like you gotta end up having fun. It's like the way that you shadow box and stuff like that. Like I can literally, like I put like a whole tutorial with it. It's like you should be having fun. You should be enjoying everything you're doing. It's like at the end of the day, you gotta remember we're out here doing what we love. Like and you gotta think about this. Like there's clearly something wrong with us because the fact is that we out here getting paid to get punched in the face. And at the same time, we're shaking hands with the people that we're getting punched in the face by. Or it's like the bright side of it. We jump into the cage or the ring in front of audience, which we are become gladiators, no matter how you look at it. We're in front of that audience, and we sign a contract to kill each other, or come damn near close, whatever the case is. All right. For us both to have that type of mentality, what else can you honestly be mad about? Like, we're already here. It's like we already placed it. Like, I don't have to do the extras because I know a lot of people do the extras to sell the fight. I get it. After you sell the fight, now it's done. It's called, did you go too far or did you just go enough? You go too far, meaning we're adding parents and, siblings and kids and stuff like that. Or someone that passed away, it becomes a different story. But if you kind of keep it to the moment where it's just us, we sell the fight. We fight. We put our life on the line. I had a chance to redeem whatever the hell you ended up saying that I didn't like. You have a chance to redeem whatever you said or whatever I said that you didn't like. We get to fight it out. And the way I'm raised, bro, that's just how it is. Like, you have an issue, you throw hands, you go play, you go pick up the remote and start playing the game. That was it. That's just how it was. Like, we didn't do the whole extra, hey, I'll see you tomorrow, I'm going to kill you, that whole nine. Like, the way I was raised, we threw hands. So I was very much known for fighting. Like, the people that I was around was known about fighting. That's how we always handle our stuff. And this is the funny thing is how we all got closer to this day. Like, it's like the ones that I fight with. Like me and my brother, we always fought growing up, and that's the person that I love to death today. He's one I ride or die that I end up rolling with. Some of my cousins, certain friends that I can end up saying like, "Hey, that's the one that I rock with," or even good friends. I had our moments that we threw hands, pop on gloves, go to the back, threw hands. If it was a little street fight, we threw hands. Like majority of all the bullies that I had, from moving and everything, we came cool because we threw hands. So it was kind of like one of those how we end up sharing, like something about just letting your hands go with the feelings. Like you don't have to really say much. The hands spoke, and that was just how it was.
Out of all the combat sports that you do, you got boxing, you got MMA, UFC, martial arts. I would say you also have the circle. You got that one as well. I don't know what that's called, but bare knuckle. Which one would be the most difficult?
Most difficult. I'm always going to jump into boxing. I feel boxing is always going to be the most difficult, and that's probably why it's my favorite sport because the fact is just how difficult it is. Like people don't give a lot of credit to like Floyd. Like we already know he's the TB, the best there is or the best there ever was, right? And even if you do not want to try to claim that he is, he broke all the records that was needed to be done. He did what he had to do that was needed to be, that was needed to be set. And they say it's supposed to be violence, but he made the whole perfection of how not to get hit. And now it comes down to this next one, and I know a lot of people are going to probably butcher me after they watch this, but it's Shakur Stevenson, right? I love it. I love his style. I love his art, the way that he brings it in. He doesn't get hit. He delivers what he has to, and they want to say it's boring, but it's not boring. It's the fact is in, hey, you guys got to do a little bit more to end up doing your job. That's my opinion on my boy, but he gets the job done. He ends up defeating the people. And then at the same time, you also got to give him credit. How many times do you end up dating a woman that parents and family don't want you to date? And then at the same time, the brother also boxes, and you guys challenge each other. He was supposed to beat your ass to get you to dump his sister, but he beats your ass and then dumps his sister. No one does that. Points to my boy Stevens for that shit. And to this day, favorite boxer because of that. Like, so I had to give my man credit. Hey, people don't do that. Like, my
Yo, when
man,
it come to boxing, I appreciate the sport so much, bro. The only person that I'm putting on that Mount Rushmore of GOAT will be Floyd. Because right now, Shakur is still fighting, Tank is still fighting, um, Crawford is still fighting, even though that he's looking like, you know Canelo. I got some quarrels with Canelo. Um, but who's the other one? Benavidez is still fighting. We talking some great fighters right now in this era that we living in after
that's true.
post Floyd. I'm naming all these names, but these fighters, like, I think Canelo was stamped, but like I said, he's still fighting. Um, but man, when it come to boxing, bro, I love sports so much, bro. Like, I ain't really just like gotta like like a favorite fighter. But if I had to choose one right now, it'd have to be Tank. It'll
Okay.
have to, it'll have to be Tank.
Ain't nothing wrong with Tank. I actually am a fan of Tank. Tank is he's a grinder. And at the end of the day, I always move in the direction of all the grinders, Like, he's one of those, you know? Just like the art of the game. Like, people end up not understanding, like, I'm like so much into it, just like like how most are. But I'm like so much into it. It's like people always say, "Well, he didn't fight nobody. He didn't fight nobody." And it's always nobody after they beat the person. They become nobody, and it's like, and you gotta remember, everybody has to start somewhere because at the end of the day, the first 10, like right now, I'm giving points to Jake Paul, right? And I know a lot of people are gonna also butcher me on this one, but Jake Paul, first 10 fights, right? I think he's like 9-1 or he's 8-1, whatever the case is. But his first 10 fights, right? All named fighters. All named fighters. Might not all been boxers, but all named fighters. And the funny thing about it is, if these fighters did not go in the direction of MMA, they could have held a really good boxing career. Because the fact is that, like this, argument say Canelo. No one really didn't hear nothing about Canelo until he got like fucking 40-0, right? Or 35-0. It was like close to the moment of him fighting Floyd is where Canelo became the name, right? But before that, his first 10 was people outside on the streets, Majority of a lot of people, all these fighters' first fights were people right off the streets, and they end up developing and building. They had to build. These are no-name fighters. Jake's actually calling, like argument sake, Silva. Old, but it's a name. Two is to the moment of, if he would have beat him, they would have just said, "Hey, Jake ain't nothing, and Silva's good." That's what they would have left off with. Woodley ain't a boxer, but the dude can low key. He ended up with just started boxing instead of jumping into UFC. Could have did something, definitely. Only person I'd probably say they wouldn't have done nothing would have been Ben, but at the same time, that dude could end up killing people on the streets. That's Ben after him, the white dude, the one,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, going to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I can end up naming off of things, but the way that Jake is kind of marketing the thing, he's doing it the right way. He's, instead of taking people off of the streets to develop and build his record, he's picking guys that were big names and building his record that actually had decent boxing experience, or just enough experience to be like, okay, because all those will beat. I'm telling you, Woodley will beat up every first 25 to 30 people that Canelo fought before he started, becoming big.
I believe it. And Jake fighting on a big stage.
Yeah,
That's
and that's
another
another
thing.
thing.
That's a huge part of it. He fighting on the big stage, on pay per view.
So it's like, and so he gets nothing but points from me.
Jake Paul was fighting on pay per view before Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's like, now only people want to do is just like hate on him for it. And it's
And
like, nah, he's doing what he has to do.
He's done bigger numbers than Ryan Garcia with. And here's the thing: Ryan Garcia has only did pay per view with Tank and Devin Haney.
And that's wild. That's already saying a lot. That's saying a lot.
It's saying a whole lot.
And then people just want to like, I promise they just want to break him down. And it's like, nah, see what he's doing. He's doing the right thing. He's showing us how to freaking market. He's showing us how to develop. And, even though he had like a good kickstart to start it, but he's opening up the door for a lot of people of how to do the thing. Like right now, like even like it got to this moment, like even Ryan is taking a page out of it and he's doing the extra shit that's going on right now. And it's like, like whatever is happening, whatever is going on in his head, and I know a lot of people are saying like Ryan's left and right, but regardless of the situation, people's eyes are on him. And right now, it's gonna get to that moment. If the next time that he fights, it's gonna end up proving, or not prove, but it's gonna be a lot of money right there. Because the fact is, they're gonna want to see him want to either lose or see what he's gonna end up doing. He might end up killing himself before he gets there, or he might end up picking somebody just to end up destroying him. But how you even look at it, people's eyes are gonna be just on him because they need to know what he's about to do. Just like the thing that was with Floyd. Everybody just tuned in just to see Floyd lose, not knowing that was a lot.
But Ryan gonna have his work cut out for him because he gonna be having to fight at 147, and
Yeah,
everybody up there killers. So
nah, you ain't lying.
we
But
we
guess
gonna
what?
we gonna see. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm definitely gonna be watching. But
See? That's all it needs.
what
Need people watch.
what you think about Anne, the Mitt Queen? How did you link up with her?
Oh, nothing but love to Ann. So just Ann, love you, y'all. So, with Ann, yeah, she just randomly one day just hit me up like, "Hey, stop by the gym, put you through a workout, the whole nine." And this was I forgot who I was getting ready to fight, but I had like I had a good challenger coming up, or it was the fact that I was getting ready to sign my contract with somebody I was getting ready to sign up for, and she told me to stop by. So it was only like an hour away from me. I was like, all right, cool. Drove out there, and let me tell you, first
Oh,
day, whooped my ass. She whooped my ass the first
yeah,
day, like, bro.
yeah.
I
They
was
see
like,
the mitts, they see the mint work, but shit, them workouts ain't no joke.
nah, and they ain't, cause I was up in there. I was like, this is my first day. She said, yeah. You gonna be all right. I said, okay. She lied. I'm already in there trenched out, and I promise you, it was in the winter, and I was already like, yeah, it was in the winter, and I was in there soaking wet. My whole clothes, everything I was rocking. I was in like, it looked like I just jumped into the swimming pool and got out. You know. So yeah, Ann had me moving, dude. Ann had me fucking moving, but nothing
They
but
be
love
they
towards her.
be they don't play no games in that gym out there in Bomber Squad. Shout out to Bomber Squad. Um, all them trainers up in there ain't no joke. From Berlin to the personal the trainer out there, Tez. Then they got Robert. I forgot his last name, but he used to train Andre Ward's head coach, and he used to train with I forgot that other fighter, bro. I don't know why my mind going blank right now. But yeah, he got like a real deep resume when it comes to like some Hall of Fame fighters. But Ann, man, I remember. So I actually met her back in 2017. That's whenever she was, what I'm saying, up in there, training, doing the mitts, and then you jump over to 2020, and then she just blow
Love.
up in the boxing community. Then after that, she on Creed 3,
Yeah, she was.
you
Yeah,
know. And now when you see her, like I don't know what gym she at now, but I mean she holding mitts with the best of them, Terrence Crawford, Ryan Garcia. I haven't seen her with David Benavidez, but I think I've seen her with her people before. But
Even
Michael,
some Olympics.
some
Yeah,
Olympic.
Michael. Yeah, some Olympians. Like, and gets nothing but respect. And just sitting there talking to her, like, you don't always sit there and see, like, you only get to see one side, the side that she has a place on that media.
Yeah,
But there's that other side where it's just not too far, but like the sweet and kind side that she
yeah,
lives.
hell
She's
yeah,
always on that kill mode, like you better give me all these. If you don't do it, nah, I'm gonna do it again until you get it right, type.
yeah.
Like, but there's that other side. Like, she's really cool. It's like I got to like chill with her at it was like it was during the COVID type of deal. Like, it was like starting to cut down and they're like
Hmm.
reopening and things. And she had like this little event. Her and some of the team. It was an event for giving away shoes and everything to kids and everything. So I had a chance to roll with her. She just hit me up. Hey, Dre, can you do me a favor? Yeah, what's up? Come down. Join this, whatnot. And I did. And you get to see that side of her because those type of events I'm into. Those type of events I like to do. Like where I get back or I'm around, kids or the ones that are trying to do something with their lives or whatever the case is. And for her to end up being involved in that, like again, you end up seeing a different side of people, and that was her kind side of, I love the kids, and that's nothing but respect for her.
Her mid-work chemistry is great too. It looks difficult, but if you have any sort of boxing coordination or a little bit of boxing experience, what I'm saying, she can have you looking good on camera with them combinations and shit, bro.
Yeah, now you about to have me look digging. I'm about to post something on her. I have to
Yeah.
bring some old stuff back.
Yeah, nah, she actually already is a legend in the sport of boxing amongst trainers for sure, especially female trainers, because there ain't too many out there
Not
in the
lying.
boxing world. Only one I know is her and Crystal out in Vegas with out of Floyd's gym. Um, as far as judo go, bro, like where do you see yourself in the fight game? Like what's the goal? We know you training, we know you still competing. This is basically your life. Everything you go on your social media is all fighting. So like you definitely have made your mark in the sport of fighting. So your perspective on that.
Right now, it's polishing up. Like it's like the past 2 years. I haven't been in the cage for 2 years, and it's just low key. Just been polishing up my striking, polishing up my stand up, polishing up my jits and my takedown defense and everything. Because I have like really good coaches. Like right now, like Coach Sam, Coach Marcos, very much two legends in their own lifestyle. You got one that's in karate. That's Coach Sam, and then the jits coach, which is Marcos, who actually was Aldo's or one of Aldo's friends and coach, like, Jits coach or worked with him or how you want to place it. And they've been basically like molding a perfect version of me. And I know I have more room to get better and I'm only going to get better because the fact is how much time I took off just to do it. But right now, everybody wants to know what's next and I'm trying to figure out what's next. So, my manager Nick, Media Productions, shout out to him. We're trying to find a home for me. So it's either me back with the UFC or me jumping in this whole karate combat. Like I want to be in karate combat because it's like it fits my style. The little pit dome, it's my style. And that's like a good home for me. They pay good. They treat they fighters like family when you're there, and that's kind of like where I want to be. But I do know that things will pan out the way that it is. Like God has a plan for me, and wherever that's at, all I know is I got to be ready for wherever for all. I know we're like digging in with we're in talks with Bellator / PFL. I just got to get my weight down to where I need to be. And hell, even BKFC, like right now, if that's something where if it's just straight violence, like if it's where I have to be with violence, hey, I'm with the BKFC bare knuckle.
You
You
know,
know,
Fred, the boxer out of Fort Worth. His name Freddie.
Freddie,
Y'all
tall,
was yeah, black
my
dude.
boy
Yeah,
Freddie.
tell you man, it's a small world, bro. Hey, I seen
You're
him
not
fight.
lying.
Yeah, I seen him fight in Utah, Salt Lake City. And
Okay.
I pulled up on him afterwards, man. We exchanged numbers and shit. I was supposed to go out there. We're supposed to give him a little bit of sparring in. But yeah, bro, good dude. I seen you with him. I was like, bro, the boxing world is small, bro. The fighting community in general is like really small. You know what I'm saying? But I love seeing my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like linking up and
Come together.
yeah,
But yeah, no. Shout out to my boy Freddie. Freddie's very entertaining. That man,
Mhm.
he'll keep you on your toes. I mean, like, my boy Freddie will keep you on your toes. That man, hey, man, I
He
got
was
stories
fighting
with my boy
heavyweight.
Freddie.
He was fighting heavyweight, bro. He ain't got no business fighting heavyweight. He was
No,
fighting heavyweight, bro, and was in there. Didn't get knocked down, none of that. Wasn't running, none of that. In the pocket. You know how
yeah.
he do. Ugh, ugh. Get around.
Bro, like I said, when I tell you the stories like at training, because when I was out there, like we were on that whole like team shit, right?
Yeah,
And like yeah, it's him, boy. That boy, he had stories. When I tell you him bumping heads, he be out there sparring everybody. Like
yeah.
you gonna meet me in the ring. I'm sitting there watching it, like oh y'all entertaining, like y'all about to sit there, y'all gonna spark up the day today. It be always that everybody yapping him, man. Like I said, like everybody, like they were in it. They were in it. So especially Freddie. Freddie was talking, and then he gets everybody talking. Like everybody was talking shit. Because when you're in the boxing ring, or in the boxing gym, everybody talks. And then where I'm
Mhm.
from, like from out here, and I'm bringing that energy out there, so you already know it's talking. And then you have my boy AJ Graham, Avery Graham or Avon Graham. So AJ, he's another light skinned little cat, little young. So him and Freddie used to go at it, or at least they sparred with each other. It'd be like bigger dude versus a little small dude, but they'll work with each other.
Mhm.
So they always kept it entertaining, and it was just always it was hands being thrown at that gym. It was always good.
Man, who you got, bro? Top three all time UFC fighters.
All
Top.
time,
Now, let's do this. Top five greatest UFC fighters all time.
out of we're talking like even the ones that are retired or not in there right now.
All time. Right now.
Oh, that's easy. That's Mighty Mouse, Lil Johnson. Right now he's with one championship, and then John Jones, and it was John Jones at first, but when Mighty Mouse did that little flying armbar, I was like, yeah, I got to put him number one. He got number one in my book, and then now number three, Anderson Silva. That man was tight. He was too good to pass up. So
Fun to
those would be
watch.
my top.
Fun to watch.
You said second?
Fun to watch. Very fun to watch.
Very fun to watch. It was, or right now, it's very fun to watch. It's always going to be Connor. I give Connor points with me right now because he'll always keep it entertaining, no matter what. Win, lose, he will. It's still like he didn't lose. You feel me?
Mhm.
Like, that's why your wife's in my DMs. How you place that, no matter what, that was a W. Walk
Mhm.
away. Your wife's in my DMs. Like you can't go anywhere further than that. And then at the same time, he ends up getting mad respect for me, and it's like not placing him as the favorite or the best fighter in my eyes. No, he's definitely willing to work for it, and I like people like that. It's like he has my mindset. That's my mindset. I want to be the best, no matter what. Well, even if I'm 36 right now, I'm still planning to be the best. Like I'm still working. Like the first day I met Jones, like because everybody, me and him jumped. I was on the same card with for my second fight with the UFC, and then they were all trying to get me to butcher. And when I say all of them, like the media, they're trying to get me to butcher Jones, and they're like, "Yeah, how do you feel? Are you mad at Jones for having them move the event from Vegas to LA?" I'm like, "No. Why would I be mad? At the end of the day." You guys are like jumping on them, and then that's the whole thing. It's like, well, the whole taxes. Yeah, I get the taxes. I'll just end up sparring. I was like, yeah, me and Jones can go ahead and throw hands at practice or something, and we can call it a day. At the end of the day, what am I gonna sit here and get mad at a man that you guys are trying to penalize him for having a pentagram in the system? That ain't gonna do nothing different. He's still gonna whoop everybody's ass. What the fuck? So my thing is just like on that. They're trying to get me to butcher him. I can't butcher the man. Like the dude's doing what he has to do. He's good. He's great. You guys constantly. He's on a platform, just like Connor. He's on a platform, and when you're on a platform, they want you to be the most innocent person and let things go by. Like, no, they're human. At the end of the day, they're human. So if you do something, and if I react the way that I want to react, you can't get mad at that. You should have done that to make me react. Simple as that. Like, simple shit. Like when Connor threw all the like he ended up destroying the bus, and everybody's like, I'm suing him. He's crazy. He's wild. Whoa, why didn't anybody get jumping on Khabib when he slapped the shit out of his buddy? At the end of the day, he reacted that way. And they made it that way, and they knew what was going to happen, and they didn't believe Conor was going to come, and he showed up, and then boom. Just like that. Like, I'm with the business. Like, if you do that to anybody of my teammates, like, my mindset is going to make sure that they're good, and after they're good, we throwing hands. That's just how it is. Like, So yeah, nothing but respect to Jones and nothing respect to Connor.
Top 5 boxers all time.
Number 1 is Roy Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, so people don't get that. Roy Jones is always going to be number 1 in my book. And then I got, clearly it's going to be Muhammad and Mike Tyson. And then it's going to go, and then there's like number 4 would be Floyd. Just the fact is that I saw his fight when he fought forgot old boy's name, but he had camouflage shorts, and that was the very first fight. It was like 2000. And he must have did this jump hook to old boy's chest and blasted him from one side of the ring to the other. It was too clean. That mess was too clean. But that's why I became a fan. And then I know people are going to butcher me for this, but Zab Zuda.
Nah, why would anybody there's no boxing butcher you for that?
Okay, because for being top 5, people be like, what about Canelo? Truth be told, I think Triple G was a little bit better. I'm sorry. I felt that Triple G won the fight.
Canelo
Second.
top 5?
No, yeah, but people get mad if I didn't put Canelo at top 5. I can't
No.
put him on.
How you gonna put Canelo? I'm not talking about you, but like,
General.
but bro, how can someone put Canelo over Oscar De La Hoya if we talking top 5?
I'm on the same page. But people literally to this day, they will be like, Canelo is the best Mexican fighter in the world, the best boxer in the world, knowing that he just got done or he still has a loss against Floyd, but they'll go ahead. It's kind of like one of those, like, haters are going to hate. Like, if you see me walk on water, something like one of the rappers, one of these guys rappers, because freestyle, he was like, hey, you see me walking on water, but you're such a hater that you'll say, I bet he can't swim.
He can't
It's not
swim.
walking on water, though. You feel me? And that's the Canelo. It's like, but he lost to Floyd, but he won't beat him now. Canelo, if they did a rematch now, yeah, Floyd fucking
His
old.
skill set, bro, like Canelo's skill set is like up there with the best of the best. But if we being all the way honest, and this is just something that's debatable, the best name he got on his resume when it come to wins will be Triple G.
Yeah, and my mindset, like I said, he lost 2 out of those 3. That's just my opinion.
That's subjective. You don't. That's subjective, man. So I mean, Canelo. I mean, I'm not knocking Canelo. I ain't got no I don't have no ill will. What I'm saying, towards the fact that like he's at where he's at. But I do have an issue, bro. He's fighting Berlinga, fam. Like, and no disrespect to no fighter, but come on, bro.
He said, come on, I'm with you. I'm freaking with you. But he had that old age where he should be retired. So I think he's just trying to finish off his contract and call it a day.
What's his name? Crawford older than him. And that's the argument that I hate. That's the argument that I hate when they talk about Pacquiao and Mayweather. When Mayweather is older than Pacquiao, I hate that argument, bro.
That's true. They're like, oh, he should have fought him when he was on fire, wherever the case. And granted, Manny also, he's on my top 10. And,
Yeah,
I fuck with Manny. I like Manny. Manny's style is off the chain. And then him to come up weights and stuff like that. So he's on my top 10. And just like Earl and Crawford, they're on my top 10.
hey, bro. People already. I think people forgot just that damn quick how good Earl is, bro. Like
Yeah.
he really stomping on niggas, fam.
Dude, true. That's why it's funny too, because
Everybody, fam. And he lose this one fight, and now it's all of a sudden
No one knows who he is. He ain't nobody. And look, remember what I was sitting there saying? Everybody's somebody until they lose or they come, until they get beat. Like Crawford beats Earl. Oh, Earl's never that good. The fuck you mean he was never that good? He was destroying everybody. And if you would have kept them away, you guys wouldn't be saying Earl's still the top guy. And I'm not gonna lie, that was one of those fights I did not want to happen. I'm gonna be frank. I'll be frank with that one. I didn't want Earl and Crawford to fight. That was one of those, like, we finally got two black brothers that are on top of the game, making the money, and they can literally say, away from each other if they decide. But I know everybody got to see who's the best, and, the whole nine. But those the two that I really wanted not to fight each other. But it
Bro,
is
that
what it is.
made me like him even more.
Yeah, I felt
It
that.
made me
I
like him
felt that.
even more. Fam, bro, first of all, he wasn't running. He was right there in the mix the whole time. Didn't make no excuses after the fight. Took it like a man. Took it like a man, and ain't been and he ain't been running from the fact of wanting to do a rematch. Now I don't know behind the scenes and all that shit, but bro, he took it like a man. He sat there, he went out on his shield. What more can you ask for? Same thing with Devin Haney. Devin Haney didn't get knocked out. Devin Haney sat there and took it like a man. After the fight, he still got up there and stood up on the ropes.
No, so that's points right there. And and then I don't know why it's reminding me of it, but it's reminding me when Adrian Broner fought Madonna,
It's one of my
right?
favorite fights, bro.
Hey, you know what's funny? Mine too. Mine too. And here goes the kicker part about it too, because everybody be like, he got his ass whipped. I'm like, no, that was actually his best fight, to my opinion, best fight that he ever had. And to top it off, you take away one of those knockdowns, he wins. You take away, you just take away one of the knockdowns. And the only why he got that second knockdown is just because he was really aggressive and he had to play that aggressive part and he got caught. Like, hey, he moved up weight. This is a different weight class and he caught on to it. But every round, he was sinking. He was in. He was actually throwing. He was walking forward. Defense was on point until it wasn't on point, And then when he got back up, back on point, So, like right there, I was already a fan of Adrian, but that fight became my favorite fight of Adrian because that dude, he ended up showing heart. Like people don't get it. Like a lot of people could either walk away or quit or, hey, I'm not going to stand up. Like, when Ryan got caught into the body, right? He had a choice to get up or not. He decided to sit on the floor, and his
When
mindset was,
right after the count, boom, he got
boom.
up.
You feel me? And it's like, you already sit there and seen that, right? Like this, Hopkins went. I'm gonna bring up Hopkins' fight when he got thrown out the ring, right? It's still funny to me, but when he slid, bro, right, and hit the floor, he was good enough to get his ass back in the ring, but he knew he was losing, so he said, "No, I'm just chill here. They might just put it in as a, what's the word? Not DQ, but they'll just turn it as basically a draw, whatever the case is, like
Mm-hmm.
a fight that didn't end up occurring or whatnot. But they didn't. They gave him the L or whatever the case is, and he retired off of that fight. My shoulder, my whole thing. He had a choice to get up. And then just as like other parts, like you got Bradley. I know a lot of people butcher Bradley, but he ended up fighting this one cat where he was winning the fight, but old boy was whooping his ass for like one of these rounds, and he just took a knee. People not understanding how educated you have to be to just say, "Hey, I'm gonna take a knee real quick." He get points off on that, right? It's like these people have choices, where they can show their heart or enough where, hey, I have heart, but right now, let me take a breather. It's like little things like that. And Adrian, he made that choice that made me a bigger fan and more like, again,
Yeah.
favorite fight because he had that choice. He got up. He ended up telling, not only the first time he got knocked down, not only telling, he said, telling his corner, relax, relax. Like, it's like, I got this. So it was cool. And he did. He had it. But then he got dropped again. It's just Madonna had different type of power, Madonna hit
He,
because
he said
clearly,
that. And he said
yeah,
that.
yeah, and on top of that, and just in case anybody that thought he didn't have power, he did that to a person that actually at a heavier weight class, which was Floyd, a heavier weight class, that a person that was bigger than Adrian took a shot and almost, he rocked him, like really rocked him to that moment of, oh, I'm stunned, let me go ahead and sit down type of deal. It was at the bell, but hey, there it is. And granted that was a different version of Floyd that we got until we got the Floyd. That version was the old version of Floyd where he was actually trying to. Madonna's one of those like, hey, I'm like very firm on the feet. Like I throw, I sit, I can take punches, you know. But little things like that.
Man, bro, we can talk this boxing, this fighting shit all day, man. We definitely gonna have to run it back soon, man. I appreciate you coming on. If you like this conversation, if this conversation was helpful, please like and subscribe, share. Go follow my man on Instagram, bro. Where can they find you at, bro?
Day 42, AII42. Easy money.
Yeah, we definitely gonna have that in the description. And again, bro, thank you. I appreciate it, man. We definitely gonna have to have you back on, just talk fighting, man. See what's up,
With
catch
it.
back up with you. You know what I'm saying? If you out there in California looking for a trainer, man, where can they find you at in Cali?
Hey, Moreno Valley, Icon MMA. Just spell Icon MMA, put it in your GPS, it'll send you right to me. Bam.
Yes, sir. All right, man. I appreciate you, bro.